Hello everybody, my name is Shortline614 and welcome back to, I think this is episode 20 of Shortline Space Program. Today we are gearing up for, to send crew out to Pathfinder base. And, the first thing that we need to do today is we need to take the space bus, which is currently out at at Challenger Station. And what we need to do is we need to take it back to, Columbia Station around Kerbin. And I go ahead, use those nuclear rocket engines to propel out of the way. Of course, you wouldn't want to do this in real life, and I nearly hit the little orbital construction vehicle there. But I slowly, drift away from the station, cuts out a render range at, I think, 2.7, 2.3 kilometers. Who really knows? And I begin plotting my maneuver node to get back to Kerbin. This is the first time I've actually brought the space bus back, and incidentally, I saw that I had around 5,200 Delta V and really didn't think much of actually coming back on a efficient trajectory. I think by the time we get back, that 5,200 Delta V is going to disappear rather quickly. I could have come back only using 200, well, this burn is 200 Delta V. I could have come back using 1,000 Delta V, but I end up coming back using a lot more. But, it's all in the past now, and, I recorded this, like, a week ago, 2 weeks ago at this point. I'm, editing this, on Wednesday, right before it's supposed to come out. But I am meeting the schedule, which is nice. Anyway, the, Minmus beneath Judless and Munmore are doing their jobs excellently, our pilot and our engineer, ferrying crew back and forth. They've done it once before, and now they're going to do it again. And now they will return to Columbia Station to pick up... Well, no one's there. Well, there are Kerbals there right now with Expedition 3, but there are no Kerbals right now who need to travel out to Columbia Station, or Challenger Station. They both start with C. And anyways, I go ahead, and I obviously cut a lot of this out. As you can see, I only have 3,000 Delta V left, which, I mean, I could have come back using a lot less Delta V than I actually did, so, I didn't come back on a particularly efficient trajectory. But I cut all of that out because it was kind of boring, and I don't think you wanted to see me messing around with orbits for, 5 minutes. Anyways, we come close to the station. As you can see, there's currently only one crew transfer vehicle right there actually docked with Expedition 3. That's going to change. We're actually going to launch another crew transfer vehicle, bringing up the, Pathfinder base Expedition 1 crew. And, I go ahead and I obviously do the standard docking maneuver. I switch into the right, into, I think, orbital cam for this, so I don't have to deal with, rotation of the planet and whatnot. First time that this is actually coming back, and while I have docked this, a couple times before, and obviously that's its docking port. One thing that I actually do have planned for the future is, as I said, if you know me, have been watching this series, I forget to put lights on everything. But thanks to the most recent update, I actually do plan to come out here eventually and put lights on, docking navigation lights on here. Serve more as, decoration and to light the station up. And with the new Kerbal inventory system, we're going to be having a lot of fun and a lot of shenanigans with that. But no spoilers, you want to stick around to see my mess-ups. Anyways, Val, Bill, and Bob have been chosen to go out to be Expedition 1, the crew of Expedition 1 for Pathfinder base. And they are launching in their Chesapeake 30C, which is just a Chesapeake 33 cores, no boosters, with a no second stage. Excuse me. Haha, funny yawning because I do not talk for extended periods of time except when recording this. It is also 10:30 at night, and that might have something to do with this. I would record this earlier, but well, people in my house tend to be quite loud, so I kind of have to record these late at night. Uh, anyways, what was I doing? Oh yeah, we're launching this, and of course our CTV. Val, Bill, and Bob, and I think there's an engineer and there's a pilot in there as well, to actually, there's an engineer and a pilot in there to actually bring this thing back down once they have been brought up to the station. Just a standard trajectory, as you can see over there, Columbia Station Expedition 2 landing site, which is pretty nice. I go ahead, those boosters cut out. I'm considering adding like probe cores and parachutes on them, just to kind of simulate reuse, to kind of make this more realistic. Because as I said, the only way you'd be able to do all this stuff in real life is if you could deliver stuff to space relatively cheaply. There goes the fairing. There's the CTV in all of its glory. I forgot to change the flag, which that sucks. But this thing is going to be. I think we're actually going to take, because up at the station right now is the older CTV. I think I think we're going to bring that down. I'm pretty sure. At least I think. I honestly cannot remember. But, it's just two little flags on the side. It really doesn't matter. While I'd prefer them to be the SSP flag, it really does not matter. It's just something that's nice to have. Anyways, I work on getting this thing into orbit, and we get into orbit, and that actually has a lot of fuel left, so I'm actually going to do something very, very special with that upper stage. I yawned again. I apologize. Anyways, I cut to, obviously, I cut out the rendezvous, and obviously, because, just warping around the planet a couple of times isn't particularly interesting. And we go ahead and we want to dock over there to that opposite port, using our little service module and our little CTV itself. So Kurjos and Largley are the engineer and the pilot for today's CTV flight. They will be coming back down in one of the CTVs. I think they're going to be coming back down. I think the CTV that's currently docked, well, directly opposite of the one that we are delivering, which is fine. Fairly simple. There's the space tug. Interestingly enough, the lights from our crew cabin is illuminating the station somewhat, which looks very nice. I'm pretty sure there's a way you can dim lights in this game. If that isn't something that I know about, that would be rather useful to add. I don't know, maybe in KSP2, who knows. Anyways, I'm also bringing up, making the first use of the Kerbal inventory system, I'm bringing up a little cubic octagonal strut and a little SAS module because, we're going to transfer that to the space bus, and then when we get out to the moon, to Minmus, on the surface of Minmus, we're actually going to apply that to the lander, because the lander doesn't actually have any SAS. And we're also going to, no spoilers, but we're going to rob some fuel tanks from one of these very fine craft and maybe, mess one up somewhat. But I think that's going to be in the next episode. Where, anyways, we get that docked, that's all fine and good. And, there's the station, and I go ahead and then I switch back to our upper stage, and I said in a previous episode that I actually wanted to start to reuse this. So, my basic idea, was, we're not reusing it just yet. I want to test the boost back, I guess, would you really be able to call it boost back? I want to test the current, landing and maneuvering capabilities of this thing to see how much fuel we would realistically have by the end of it and see if we actually have enough fuel to actually land this thing. I will have to eventually apply SAS, maybe landing gear, or maybe even parachutes to actually get this thing back down. That won't be too much of a hassle. I'm gonna have to make some custom landing gear instead of just using the normal landing gear. A really long time ago, I did a bunch of like SpaceX Grasshopper style rockets, Falcon 9 style rockets, and many of them, well, I used normal landing gear and it really did not work all that well. So we're gonna have to make custom landing gear out of, I don't know, some of the robotics parts maybe. Anyways, coming back through reentry, turns out that the reentry is actually pretty good. Nothing actually burns up, and actually, I wanted to come down at the KSC, but we're kind of coming down at this area east of the KSC along this little ridge here. And the lack of SAS was actually quite troubling, but I was actually, at this point, I was also concerned I actually wouldn't have enough fuel to land. And doesn't really matter anyways, because, well, we explode, and the only thing left is some RTGs and some fins. Keep it there as a little memorial to that stage. Anyway, we are back at the station. As you can see, everything is going fine. The crew has been transferred, and, well, everything is quite peaceful. I finally... Oh, there's the game pause. I had to leave for 1 second. Well, need to get better at editing. I am a complete idiot, and I only learn things incredibly slowly, but that's fine. Anyways, we go ahead, and we undock the CTV with Kerdros and Largely, and it is time for us to bring this CTV back home. It has completed its mission of ferrying crew to the station. And I end up adjusting the sound volume somewhat. And it is now time to, because I thought it was low for some reason on my end, I guess. And it is now time to actually try and land this at the KSC. Now, I've only ever attempted this once or twice before. The first attempt, I overshot KSC, and I ended up landing on a little area just kind of slightly north, like northeast or northwest, I guess you could say. And I didn't want to do that again, so I actually went back to the last episode, and I kept checking, you know, oh, how did I re-enter? What was my trajectory? We slide past the station, which I completely forgot about. I thought it would just... Turns out we're still close enough to orbit to actually, you know... So there's the station, and we begin our deorbit burn. And what I try and do... Excuse me again. What I try and do is I put my periapsis obviously in the ground, and then I pause. I go and check the video. I do keep apologizing for all my various yawns throughout all my various episodes. As I said, I can only really record these late at night when I'm tired and, you know, after staring at a screen all day with online school, and, well, I haven't had a whole lot of time to do things recently because of online school, but it's probably only going to get worse next semester because they're changing the schedule around to give us less free time, because apparently that's the solution to, you know, that is the solution to, you know, students aren't able to learn and they aren't able to get the work done. Just more time in school. That totally works. Anyways, I go ahead and I quick save and I begin our reentry. Nothing fancy with that service module this time. It mostly just goes ahead and, you know, will burn up upon, you know, reentry and whatnot. I begin the reentry, and I obviously enable my my things. And at this point, I realized I had overshot. So what I end up doing is I use some of the Delta V, some of the fuel from that service module, in order to lengthen, I guess you could say, my orbit. I actually have a periapsis now, but it's only 6 kilometers above the surface, which is very deep inside the atmosphere, so it doesn't really matter. And we go ahead and we try for re-entry number 2. And at this point, I'm also afraid I'm going to overshoot. So what I end up doing is I don't actually end up doing like any S curves, any S turns to help bleed off my speed. I do end up moving somewhat in hopes that it would, cool the reentry. Obviously, we're much more aerodynamic, so our service module clearly falls in front of us, burning up. Now that I really think about it, that service module would actually probably crash somewhere on that eastern side of Kerbal. Not really a good thing in real life, dumping rocket stages on people, but this is Kerbal Space Program, and I don't know, let's just hope that it burns up in the atmosphere. Anyways, I get scared again because I realize I've overshot again, and I just decide to say, screw it, we're going to commit to this, I'm pretty sure. At least I'm pretty sure that's what I do. And I use some of our rocket engines to actually help us boost our trajectory somewhat. As you can see, I start to do some S turns to help, bleed off. I don't want those RCS little ports to explode. I don't know, whenever I go back to map view and then I go back, it causes me to zoom out a bunch. And what ends up happening is, well, I do end up flying over the mountains, which is good. Good to know that I won't actually crash in the mountains in K2 and whatnot. And I noticed that I need to turn, I guess, left or right to actually get back to the KSC, but that has the problem of me actually bleeding off a whole lot of speed, which I try to do again by reboosting myself with my engines, but I only have 200 Delta V. I try with my RCS, but clearly that doesn't work. So what I end up deciding to do is, right, I'm going to nosedive, and I'm going to try to bleed off. I'm going to nosedive and hope that gravity will pull me down, and I can use that gravity to kind of combining with the rocket engines to help me glide. Didn't really work so well. We're going to fall short of the KSC by a lot, but it is what it is. I don't really re-enter space planes a whole lot, so this is something that is brand new to me. Like a lot of stuff in this series, like the Minimus ore mining, that's something that, despite my 8 years of playing this game, I've never actually bothered to do. So, excuse me if I'm a little bit garbage at it. Well, I'm garbage at most things that I do, so, who knows. Anyways, I come back down, select the parachute for some reason, and I just decide, alright, we're gonna have to land over here. There's no way we're gonna cover the 12 kilometers back to KSC with 80 Delta V and a glider. So I go ahead, I deploy the landing gear, and I was a little bit worried about how this thing would land. I think last time I landed, I was going relatively quickly. So I was actually scared that I would actually stall and wouldn't land going a sufficient velocity. Like I would hit the ground too hard. Obviously, well, the engine's kind of cut out right there, and I'm just gonna have to say screw it. So I actually stall somewhat upon landing, and tends to bounce. And, well, anyways, that's it. Landing next to this massive tree, because why are the trees so big on Kerbal? Anyways, that is that mission right there. Rather nice. I get some pictures. A beautiful little CTV right there. And, get the Kerbals out, get for a photo, whatnot, plant the flag. But anyways, thank you all for watching. This episode 20 of Shortline Space Program. This is the 20th episode, and I haven't improved at all. But as I said, I just do this to give me some motivation to actually, play the game. Thank you all for watching. Please, if you're on YouTube or BitChute, please like, subscribe, and comment. Tell me what you think. I do live streams on YouTube and Twitch fairly often. I'm thinking of moving over to just Twitch, because, it's kind of a dedicated live streaming platform. But who knows. And join my Discord server if you want to talk to me for whatever reason. And I will see you in episode 21 of Shortline Space Program next Thursday at 7 o'clock, which is completely arbitrary. Goodbye, everybody.